Control players unite.
Hey Control Nation, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Dr. Red. In this video, we are reviewing all of the control style cards in the Mega Evolution expansion. Use the chapters to find what you like, and I'll be adding some commentary on deck lists and ideas you might try. Also, this category we're calling CPU All Others. These are cards in the categories that we cover, except that there are so few of them that I decided just to put them all in the same category, just lumped together. Also want to say thank you to all the arborists, the channel members that help keep me going with providing all the content for you at this channel. And also want to thank all the Discord members with all their conversations and all their unique deck ideas. Thank you all for being CPU. So now let's get started. ABD is ability, board, and damage lock. Chi-Yu has Scorching Earth, 40 base damage for 1 fighting energy. If your opponent has a stadium in play, discard it, and if you do, they can't play any stadium cards during their next turn. This is great if you want to stop something like Dragapult from playing Jamming Tower, maybe 2 turns in a row. It can also stop your opponent from using Area 0 Underdepths to get a large bench in back-to-back turns. Ninetales has a really interesting attack, Supernatural Shapeshifter for 1 colorless energy. Discard the top card of your deck, and if that card is a supporter, use the effect of that card as the effect of this attack. So you could boss your opponent, then Zerosic them, or vice versa. You could use Airy and then use Lose Determination for yourself. Lots of possibilities here. Psyduck, the card we've all been waiting for, has the ability Damp. Pokemon in play, both yours and your opponent's, lose any ability that requires the Pokemon using it to knock out itself. So this goes against Dusclops and Dusknoir, just one-shotting all of those baby Pokemon on your bench. It also stops Miraidon from using Magneton to self-destruct and energize lightning energy from the discard. Its evolution, Golduck, has the exact same ability, except it has Hydro Pump, an aggressive attack, so you might pair this with something like Baxcalibur. Snom has Hide, flip a coin if heads during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. Its evolution, Frostmouth, will come up here in a second. Mega Manectric EX, Flash Ray, 120 base damage, 2 lightning energy. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks from basic Pokemon. We'll go over that here in a second when we go over Free Retreat. Marshadow is good with Mega Lucario EX, Shadowy Psychic. If your opponent's Pokemon is KO'd by damage from this attack, during your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to this Pokemon. Sandslash has Sand Attack, 50 base damage to colorless energy. During your opponent's next turn, if the defending Pokemon tries to use an attack, your opponent flips a coin. If tails, that attack doesn't happen. Spearow, before doing damage, discard all Pokemon tools from your opponent's active. Strange Timepiece. Devolve one of your evolved psychic Pokemon by putting any number of evolution cards on it into your hand. So this is good for Baby Espathra, which has attack lock and damage lock and effects of attacks on evolution. You could also use it with Mismagius, where upon evolution, Mismagius will move an energy from your opponent's active to the bench. You can also use it with Alakazam and Kadabra to keep drawing cards turn after turn. Force of Vitality is here because each player's grass Pokemon can evolve into grass Pokemon during the turn they play those Pokemon, except during their first turn. You can get a lot of control style grass into play very quickly and easily with this card, which is why it's here. Acerole's Mischief. This is being paired with Mega Manectric right now. You can use this card only if your opponent has 2 or fewer prize cards remaining. Choose one of your Pokemon in play. During your opponent's next turn, prevent all damage from and effects of attacks done to that Pokemon by your opponent's Pokemon EX. You could also use it with Dedenne. If you could just play it and then use Trainer Retrieval to get it right back into your hand. Just recycle it if your opponent is only attacking with Pokemon EX. Then we're back to the beginning. Let's go under everything else that we don't cover under these regular categories. Bulbasaur has Bind Down. It's a retreat lock. Mega Venusaur retreat lock is a thing. Check out the CPU video. Shiftry has Reversing Gust. There's a Baby Sylveon with the same attack. Flip a coin if heads. Choose one of your opponent's Pokemon, shuffle that Pokemon, all attached cards into their deck. You can play this with Force of Vitality. Inteleon has an interesting attack, Bring Down. Choose a Pokemon and play yours or your opponent's that has the least HP remaining except for this Pokemon, and it is KO. This would be good with Tatsugiri EX. Pachirisu has Electrified Incisors. During your opponent's next turn, whenever they attach an energy card from their hand to the defending Pokemon, place 8 damage counters on that Pokemon. So it would be good if you had this Pachirisu up against an evolution Pokemon that wants to attach an energy. That way you can just very quickly and easily use Devolution, so maybe use it with Frostlass or some kind of lightning box. Alakazam, Psychic Draw. Once during your turn, when you play this Pokemon from your hand, to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may use this ability, Draw 3. It's being paired with the Dunsparce because you can just keep recycling, getting cards into your hand for its attack, powerful hand. 2 damage counters on your opponent's active for each card in your hand. So if you have 30 cards in your hand, that is 600 damage. You have Horrifying Bite, Houndstone. Flip a coin till you get tails for each heads. Choose a random card from your opponent's hand. You get to choose. Your opponent reveals those cards and shuffles them into your deck. Shedinja has Fragile Husk. If this Pokemon is KO'd by damage from an attack from your opponent's Pokemon EX, your opponent can't take any prize cards for it. Also has a free retreat. Nagelstock, this attack's damage isn't affected by resistance. It's a kind of shred. Same with Solrock. This attack's damage is not affected by weakness or resistance. That's a kind of shred. Mega Absol EX has Terminal Period. If your opponent's active Pokemon has exactly 6 damage counters on it, that Pokemon is KO'd. This is being paired with Monkey Dory. You can also pair it with the Magby if it's attacked. If that Pokemon is attacked or damaged by an attack, you put 6 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon right away. It also has Claw of Darkness. For 200 base damage, 2 darkness, 1 colorless energy. Your opponent reveals their hand and discard a card that you find there. It's like Luxray EX on a basic, but more damage. Spiritomb, Spiteful Swirl. If your active Darkness Pokemon is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if it's KO'd, put a damage counter on the attacking Pokemon. You can stack this as well on the bench. Mountain Breaker. Discard the top card of your opponent's deck. It's the only mill card in this set. Yveltal has Clutch, 20 base damage, 1 Darkness Energy. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. I'll note the free retreat as well. This is being paired with Frostlass because of the synergy of the Darkness Energy with Monkey Dory. It could also work in some kind of Darkness box. Risky Ruins. Whenever any player puts a basic non-Darkness Pokemon onto their bench during the turn, you put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. Notice it doesn't say from hand, ladies and gentlemen, so if you're using Nest Ball, Risky Ruins would still count it. We're back to the beginning. Next, we have all of the draw cards available. We have Kadabra. Upon evolution, you can draw 2. Alakazam, upon evolution, you can draw 3. Ralts, for the Gardevoir line, you can draw a card with Collect. Lunatone's being used with the Mega Lucario EX archetype. Once during your turn, if you have a Solrock in play, you may discard a basic Fighting Energy and draw 3. You can't use more than 1 Lunar Cycle per turn. Thievul, you may draw until you have 6 in your hand. Mega Kangaskhan EX has the Run Errand ability. Once during your turn, if it's in the active, you can draw 2. You can't use more than Run Errand per turn. This is being used in a big basics deck with Terapagos and Latios EX. You could also pair it with Altaria EX for healing. Young Goose has Collect, draw a card. Gumshoos is being paired with the new Ninetales that we just went over. Has the ability Evidence Gathering. Once during your turn, you may use this ability. Switch a card from your hand with the top card of your deck. It could also act as an additional draw per turn. You can also, this ability was also on Oranguru in the past. Mystery Garden, this is being paired with Mega Gardevoir. You could pair it with any Psychic deck, however. Once during each player's turn, you may attach an energy from their hand in order to draw, discard an energy from your hand in order to draw cards until you have as many cards as you have Psychic Pokemon in play. Lily's Determination, this card is absolutely everywhere and it's wonderful for control decks. Shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 6 cards, but if you have exactly 6 prize cards remaining, like if you're playing Stall, you can draw 8 cards instead. Lieutenant Surge's Bargain, this is a really fun meme card. Ask your opponent if each player may take a prize. If they agree, you take a prize. If not, you draw 4. This could be paired with the Badoo Dust Noir decks that just want to get your opponent down to as few prize cards as remaining as possible, so you can use Blood Moon Ursaluna EX. And we're back to the beginning. We're on to all of the energy cards available. We're putting Mega Venusaur EX here because of Solar Transfer ability. As often as you like during your turn, you may use this ability. Move a basic grass energy from one of your Pokemon to another one of your Pokemon. You'll see why it's here also in a second. Meganium, this is part of the reason, the Wild Growth ability. Each basic grass energy attached to all of your Pokemon provides 2 grass energy. The effect of Wild Growth doesn't stack. So the previous attack that we saw on Mega Venusaur, you can use it not for just 4, but for literal 2 energy attached. We have Centiskorch, Coiling Crush, 2 colorless energy for 50 base damage. Flip 2 coins for each, and for each head, discard an energy from your opponent's active. It's basically 2 Crushing Hammers. Cinderace, Explosiveness ability. If this Pokemon is in your hand when you're setting up, you may put it face down in the active. Turbo Flare for 1 colorless energy does 50 base damage. Search your deck for 3 basic energy cards, attach them to your bench Pokemon any way you like, then shuffle your deck. This is being used, at least in my decks, on Tatsugiri EX. And you could also use it in maybe a Whiscash Mill deck if you want to try to get those fighting energy from the deck rather than the discard with Lucario to mill with Whiscash. Grumpig, you can pair this with the Strange Timepiece. The ability Energize Steps. Once during your turn, when you place Pokemon from your hand to evolve a Pokemon, look at the top 4 cards of your deck and put any number of basic energy cards you find there to your Pokemon any way you like. Mega Gardevoir EX with the Overflowing Wishes attack. For each of your benched Pokemon, search your deck for a basic psychic energy, attach it to that Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. Notice that the Pokemon that are being attached, that the energy you're being attached to do not need to be psychic. Mega Lucario EX with Aura Jab, 130 base damage. Attach up to 3 basic fighting energy cards from your discard pile to your bench Pokemon any way you like. This is its own archetype. You compare it with anything you want that wants to use fighting energy. Tinkatuff, this will be for the Tinkatuff EX users. Once during your turn, we place Pokemon from your hand to evolve. We use this ability. Flip a coin. If it has discard energy from your opponent's active. You could also search it out with Genesect EX. Latios is being paired with the Mega Latios EX. Lustrous Assist ability. Once during your turn, when your Mega Latios EX moves from your bench to the active spot, you may use this ability. Move any amount of energy from your bench Pokemon to your active Pokemon. Fighting Gong is with Mega Lucario. Search your deck for a basic fighting energy card or a basic fighting Pokemon. Reveal it, put it into your hand. This is great for the Soul Rock engine, which you could also use with Great Tusk Mill. Then we're on to Mystery Garden. Once during your turn, you may discard an energy and draw a card so you have as many cards in your hand as you have psychic Pokemon in play. Then we're back to the beginning. These are all of the free attacks, free retreats, and free card search cards. Free retreat with Cinderace, which we just went over. Free retreat with Mega Manectric. So what you're going to do is use Riotous Blasting, discard all energy from this Pokemon. You presumably will be able to take a hit with 330 HP. Use Electric on your bench to charge up another Mega Manectric, and then just free retreat it out of the active into the other one, or whatever it is you want. Shedinja has free retreat. Ninjask has free retreat. Tyrogue is the only free attack in this set. Pow Pow Punching. 10 plus 30 more damage for each heads you flip until you get tails. Also has a free retreat. Eotol has free retreat as well as retreat lock. Goldango, all you can grab for one colorless energy. Flip a coin until you get tails. Search your deck for a number of cards up to the number of heads. Put them in your hand and shuffle your deck. I'm not sure Goldango users want to use this. This is more like a popper kind of an archetype, I would say. Delibird, it's also the only quick gift for one colorless energy. It's also the only attack that you can use on your first turn in this set. Search your deck for a card, put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. We're back to the beginning. These are all the Gusting, Repelling, and Switch Out cards that are available. Bayleaf, push down 50 base damage for 1 grass, 1 colorless energy. You can also use it with Relicanth if you evolve into Meganium. Switch out your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. Your opponent chooses the new active. Ninjask, U-turn, switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, 90 base damage. Abra switches Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. This goes with the Kadabra Alakazam line. Drifloon is a promo. Flip a coin. If heads, switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active spot. Hariyama, this is being paired with Mega Lucario EX, but anything that uses fighting energy you could use it with. Once in your turn, when you evolve this Pokemon from hand, you switch in one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to the active. It's like double with Popsization. Mega Latias EX has Strafe. Switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. Repel outright. Switch one of your opponent's active Pokemon to the bench. Your opponent chooses the new active. Surfing Beach. This is being paired with Palafin EX or anything that wants to switch into the active at will with water Pokemon. Once during each player's turn, that player may switch their active water Pokemon with one of their bench water. We're back to the beginning. These are all the healing cards that will take off damage counters. Mega Venusaur with Solar Transfer will be paired with Shuckle. This is what we mentioned earlier. The Fermented Juice ability. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon has any grass energy attached, you may use this ability. Heal 30 damage from one of your Pokemon. Beware though, when you're playing it online, it takes a long time if you're going to use 3 or 4 Shuckles. So if you can just attach to a Shuckle outright with having to use Solar Transfer, I would recommend doing that. Drifloon is a promo card. Balloon Return, put this Pokemon all attached cards into your hand. It's a healing card because if it has damage counters on it, they just go away. Miltank has Belly Full of Milk, lovely name. 2 colorless energy. Flip 2 coins. If they're both heads, heal all damage from one of your Pokemon. Pokemon Center Lady, this is a reprint. Heal 60 damage from one of your Pokemon, and it recovers from all special conditions. Wally's Compassion is a great card if you're going to tank with something like Mega Kangaskhan EX. Heal all damage from one of your Mega Evolution Pokemon EX. If you heal damage in this way, put all energy attached to that Pokemon into your hand. So maybe just we use Solar Transfer with Mega Venusaur, get the energy off, then use Wally, then put them back on. We're back to the beginning. These are all the Pokemon that give special conditions in the set. Shiftry, Perplexed, your opponent's active is now confused. Tangela, your opponent's active is poisoned. Pyroar, Searing Flame, your opponent's active is now burned. Volcanion, Singe, burns. Ice Cube, Freezing Headbutt, flip a coin if heads, your opponent's active is paralyzed. Frostmoth, which we mentioned earlier with the Snom. Chilling Wings for 1 water energy. This attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Your opponent's active Pokemon is also now asleep. So it's on a coin flip, but hey, pair it with Frostlass, you never know what'll happen. Heliolisk, Dazzle Blast, your opponent's active is now confused. Magneton, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active is now paralyzed. Drifloon, Creepy Wind, your opponent's active Pokemon is now confused. Onyx, Bind, flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active is paralyzed. Trudel, your opponent's active is poison. Grafaiai, flip a coin. If heads, choose any special condition you like. Your opponent is now affected by that special condition. We're back to the beginning. And last but not least, we have Tanking. These are all the Pokemon that take fewer damage from attacks. Executor, Guard Press. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. You could pair this with Meganium if you want to use Stomping Wood. Pyroar, Intimidating Fang. As long as the Pokemon's in the active spot, attacks used by your opponent's active do 30 less damage. That would include the bench. Mega Abomasnow, Frost Barrier, 3 water energy, 200 base damage. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes 30 less damage from attacks. Baneri, Charm. During your opponent's next turn, attacks used by the defending Pokemon do 20 less damage. Mega Kangaskhan, where this is here not because it has a tanking attack or ability, but because it is a basic with 300 HP. If you put protective goggles on it, you'll protect it from stuff like Mega Lucario one-shotting it because of the fighting weakness. Iron Defender, during your opponent's next turn, all of your metal Pokemon take 30 less damage from attacks from your opponent's Pokemon. This could be with Steven's Metagross EX, Copperajah EX, or Archaludon EX. Then we're back to the beginning. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want more control style content. Thank you, everyone, and may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Peace.